viewers, welcome to another exciting episode of Football Unfiltered. I'm your host, BUBE. I'm excited to bring to you the latest gists, updates and features from the Premier League. Here with me are my fantastic analysts, Emmanuel and Blaze. You guys are welcome to the show.
Thank you, BUBE.
Thank you for having me.
Good to be here.
It's always nice having you guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we are already in the almost concluded phase of the season, and it's already getting tougher, more interesting, and now you can see that teams are actually competing to get a spot in the Premier League. Some are competing to make it to the top four. They are also competing to make it to the top four.
When you said make it to the top five, so how excited Emma was. Because he feels he's sure of the top four.
Not top four. We are title contenders.
What are you contending?
Liverpool and Arsenal are the known title contenders, not Chelsea, who are trying to get to top four.
We'll still come to that. Okay, so I would like to ask you, please, what do you have to say about your club so far in the competition? Do you think they've been impressive? And to think that the transfer window is still open, do you think that they need to bring in another player to strengthen the team? So what do you have to say about it?
So far, I think my club is a work in process, progress. I'll use the word progress, not process. So we saw how last season went. In fact, right from, that was 2021, 2022, we saw how Chelsea Football Club has been since will I say it was not sacked, since the last owner sold the club to the new owner. There was this transition. So when there's a transition, you allow the club to build, right? So I feel it's a building process. For Chelsea, because these new owners have come with a new ideology. We saw how last season went when they brought in Pochettino, and it didn't even start with Pochettino. I think they brought in Potter first. After bringing in Potter, Lampard first, then Potter. Then after Potter, we landed at Pochettino. Then we are now at Malasca. It's a work in progress. For me, we have gotten to a point, right? It's true that naturally in the last few weeks we have gone from people that were second on the table to people that are out of the top four at the moment, and a lot of persons, Chelsea fans who are not patient enough, are shouting, how can we be second yesterday and today we are already sixth? You get that? For me, it's one of those things that come with when you want to transit. It's not going to be magic. Football is not magic. If you look at the squad, some players got injured. Most of these players are young players. You're not expecting. They've not played together for quite some time. If you look at clubs like Arsenal, Manchester City, or Liverpool that Chelsea is competing with, you understand that these are clubs that they've played together for quite some time and they've gelled. So you have to give this Chelsea team that's still building enough time to gel and all that. For your second question about if there are certain positions we need to strengthen. Of course, I think there are certain positions we need to strengthen. For me, if you know, throughout this program, and if you discuss with me, you understand that I am a very big fan of Jackson. I'm a big fan of Jackson, but I still think that Chelsea need a solid striker. It might not happen during this January window because you know, when you look at the January window, you understand that it's a kind of window that most solid players want to add to the team might not be available, because any striker that is good now, no good team that has a good striker want to release that striker. So it might not come now, but I think in the long run they should add a good striker, not necessarily to bench Jackson, but to compete with him. I don't want to start telling long stories, but if you know that during the times of the drawbacks, you see them having 2-3 strikers that are competing for the same position. So another position I think that they should look at, even though that if we look at within us, we still have players in that position, is the goalkeeping position. For like 2 or 3 matches, we see that our goalkeeper has sold us out. So if you look at, but I'm not talking about buying a new goalkeeper now. Maybe calling one of our goalkeepers back, which is also not looking possible. What's his name? Petrovic is doing well in our sister club. If you can call him back, I think it's going to be better. For me, Sanchez is not he's not a goalkeeper that can win you titles. Either you call Petrovic back or you sign a goalkeeper as a second goalkeeper. And we have seen him play in the European Conference League, and we have seen that this guy is more composed than Sanchez. Can you bring in this guy? Let's see what he can do. These are the 2 positions I think they can strengthen. I don't want to start talking about the midfield positions where we need depth and all that for the month of time.
All right, thank you. So, Emmanuel, what do you have to say about your club? Do you think they've been so impressive, or do you think they need to strengthen the team with either one or two players, or do you think with the current squad that they are ready and able to win the title this season?
Thank you, BUBE. I'll be very quick on my club because I would say we don't have much challenges now. We cannot say we don't have challenges because every club have a challenge, but the number of challenges or the level of challenges what actually will determine what the club will be going for. In the case of Chelsea, just like he said, Chelsea, Man City and the likes, they have challenges, but I would say it's not peculiar to Arsenal. I think right now Arsenal we are contending for the title. Our coach has said it several times, and look, Arsenal is taking each game as we are going to win the title this season. And I think from the recent matches without Saka, you can actually tell that Arsenal is going for the title, because if you look at Arsenal last season and previous season, once a key player like Saka gets an injury, or someone like Trossard, sorry, what's his name, Odegaard rather, goes on injury, you see that Arsenal will be struggling to win matches.
Yeah, exactly.
They always say that Arsenal always have injury crisis and the rest of them. But then if you look at Arsenal currently, even without Saka, we are winning our matches, our games are going very well, the possession and everything. So I think for now, the coach has said he doesn't want a striker, because there was a time we were talking about getting an Osimhen and maybe another striker, but the coach said we have our striker, we just need to give them that time to more playing time and then see how far we can go. So I still believe Arsenal, any slip from Liverpool, Arsenal will get the league. Though as Liverpool is still fighting, pushing forward, but then nobody knows what happened.
How many points they are using?
One of my favorite football players during his playing time said, he said something. He said, Arsenal is like Netflix. You're always looking forward to the next season. So it's another season for Arsenal. They said they are title contenders. Let's see.
Okay. Before we go into the business of the day, I have a question. I mean, we have this trending news currently, and we'll just have to look at it quickly. I'll be asking you the one that concerns your club and the one that concerns your club quickly. Let's look at the current swap deal that is currently going on between Chelsea and Man United. There's this gist that Joe Felix, they want to swap Joe Felix with Garnacho, and there's more like
Manchester United, Joe Felix and Garnacho.
Chelsea, Joe Felix, and Garnacho, Manchester United, Garnacho. So there's this, it's not like it's trending now. Whether the deal, what do you have to say?
I think it should remain a rumor. It should remain a rumor.
We don't want that.
It should just remain a rumor. There's no way you look at it that Joe Felix is not Joe Felix, that Garnacho is going to do anything better than what Joe Felix is doing at Chelsea now. I know that Joe Felix have not gotten the opportunity to play really well in the Premier League, but he's a solid squad depth. I was saying something on radio recently, and I was saying something. When we look at the club, we're always looking at the now. But Joe Felix is a solid backup player for the future. Chelsea is going to be playing in the Club World Cup this 2025.
Exactly.
Who is going to play the Club World Cup? Is it Garnacho? You understand? So I've seen rumors of Joe Felix swapping with an Aston Villa John Duran. That one is a better rumor for me than telling me swapping with Garnacho. I've watched Garnacho in Manchester United. I criticize him a lot. In fact, Garnacho has the worst. Not Garnacho now. Manchester United, I say it always. They have the worst players when it goes to their forward line. So you want to look at that forward line that has the worst players, and you want to pick one of them and bring to my club. I reject it in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Okay. So to you, Emmanuel, your last game there was a red card that was given to your club, and I currently heard in the news that they've appealed for the red card and the club has been pardoned for it. That means there will no longer be a ban for your player that was given a red card. So how do you feel about this?
I'm not surprised, because obviously that tackle was not a red card tackle. It should be a yellow card tackle. And another thing we are also trying to push for is what's that his name again? I've forgotten that ref's name. Remind me his name again.
Is
Is
it
it the Cooper? Is it Cooper?
The ref.
That's Cooper now.
Cooper. I've noticed that anytime Arsenal is playing a game,
the
that man is always.
They call him the best England referee.
That's their own opinion. But if you look at Arsenal's record with that man, there's always a card against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And if you look at the entire Premier League matches, Arsenal has the most yellow card from that referee. I'm telling you, it's a fact. In fact, it made us Arsenal fans. We had to go start digging deep. Just yesterday, 2 days ago, there's a group on WhatsApp where Arsenal fans we've been going down into history because of that man. Because of that, every game Arsenal plays,
There's a controversy.
I'm telling you the truth.
I would like. I even saw a. You know, when you go to Twitter, you see compilations.
Yes.
You see football players, their skill compilation, and I saw a compilation.
So I don't know
Of a referee.
if that referee has something against Arsenal.
Arsenal.
So I think FA needs to look into it because that card doesn't that tackle doesn't call for a red card. Because if you check on other tackles against Arsenal players in which he officiated, he didn't give a card. I could recall vividly there's a game between Arsenal and Manchester City. I think we played 2-2 that game. A very rough tackle from Kovacic. There was no card against what's his name? Kovacic. So I think the appeal was not the rescinded that appeal was not a surprise to me. It was something that we expected. And luckily for us, we won that game. If we had not won that game,
That would have been a problem.
we would have dragged that referee.
That's dragging him at the moment. But on this issue, I want to just chip in something, a few minutes. So I think we should. I was thinking that with the invention of VAR, we should have grown past some of these issues.
Some of these errors.
It's actually very annoying.
Especially in a match where they want to read
Do what they want to do.
Exactly.
They don't rely on the VAR. We thought bringing VAR into
Is why VAR should be
VAR should be the last resort.
Exactly.
Just like where you have the High Court and
VAR should be the Supreme Court.
Thank you.
Yes.
So why are you not relying on the referee again? When the referee obviously does not have the final say. When you have 3 professionals at the back room sitting down, giving you professional book, and they keep saying in that match repeatedly that tackle was not a red card tackle. I was hearing it repeatedly. So anyway,
they don't work together with the VAR.
See. We all know that there is corruption in football.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Bube, let's go into the business of today.
Let's forget it.
So quickly, let's go into the business of the day. We're already in the week 24 of the APL games, and it's going to be kicking off with the Nottingham Forest game versus Brighton game. Nottingham Forest have been fantastic, extremely
Very
fantastic.
yeah.
They are currently sitting third in the league with 44 points.
Yeah.
While Brighton is currently seated in the 9th position with 34 points. What? Nottingham Forest has been so fantastic. Which jazz they carry enter EPL this season? Like, they've been so amazing. So I'll be starting with you, Emmanuel. What's your take on this game? And also, do you think that Nottingham Forest will continuously maintain the spot till the end of the season? Or do you think they might fall out along the way? And also, what are your expectations in this game?
Well, I'll be very realistic here because in football, sometimes when you allow your emotions to becloud your analysis, you get disappointed. We've seen it happen recently, especially the game between Bournemouth and this same Nottingham Forest, where they were trashed, I think 5-0. But let me be sure. Let me be sure. Okay, Nottingham Forest last game. Yes, they were trashed 5-0.
5-0, yeah.
5-0. Nobody expected that. Nobody saw it coming because this is a team that. So that's why I said I'll be very realistic here. Nottingham Forest cannot sustain this position. That they can't sustain it. That's the truth. Right now, from their last game, I watched the game. I could tell that they don't have any squad like kind of squad there. They don't have it. They are just playing with their full 11. There's nobody to substitute. There's nobody to say, okay, let us come in and put the fire and all that. Otherwise, you would have seen it play out in the game against Bournemouth. Not even a single goal. But the analysis, if you look at the analysis, let me just quickly look at the analysis between Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth. Discover that Bournemouth had everything from that in that game. They had a shot on target, 10 shot on target. While Nottingham Forest had just 4. You know. Then when it comes to possessions, they had 51, while Forest had 49. And then lastly, the tackles. You see that Nottingham Forest were more of the offensive side. They were just, you know, left and center attacking, causing errors here and there. So I think the truth there is that Nottingham Forest cannot sustain this position.
Okay.
If anything will have to come up to that position, luckily it has to be Man City. Because Man City, as you can see now, they are coming in gradually. So I would say it's a pity for them that they didn't manage, or let's say it's just not their fault, because right now the transfer window
they are overdoing for a Nottingham Forest club where they are now. They have already overdone.
But the transfer window is still open, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
What would have expected? Yeah, by now we should get at least 2 or 3 players to join the squad. But no news from them. So it's obvious that.
But it's not. They are still Nottingham Forest. How many players wants to go to Nottingham Forest? At the end of the day, they are thought of the table or not. How many players want to
obviously, I think finally, I think I'll just say a Brighton will actually take the day. That's the truth.
Okay.
But we should expect goals, because they didn't score in their last game. Obviously, they want to go back and look at maybe the reasons why they couldn't put the goals through their chances. But definitely, I'm going to give it to a Brighton win and both teams to score.
Okay, so quickly, let's look at the next game that will be played between Bournemouth and Liverpool. Liverpool they are more like the king, the lion of the league. They've actually lost. Is it once?
Just one.
Just
Just
one
one
game.
against
Yes. And they'll be meeting with Bournemouth that is seated comfortably in the 7th position. So, Blaze, what do you have to say about it?
So you know that Bournemouth is one of those teams this season that really impressed. I don't know for any other person, but they've impressed. They are just forget that they are 7th. If you look at the points that they have, you see that they are close to the top 4. They are closer to the top 4 than the bottom side of the table. So they've been really doing well. I think they have a very wonderful coach. This is a coach that has been able to beat Man City this season. He's a coach that has been able to beat Man U this season. He's a coach that has been able to beat Arsenal this season. I think it's going to be a very tough match. Very, very tough. And it shouldn't be a match that Liverpool should just take for granted. I know I played Bournemouth twice. It's true that Chelsea, I'll call it an escape. We are able to escape and we do not lose to them this season, but it's an escape because we luckily with Agod Abego, we are able to draw our last match against them, and we won the first one 1-0 with another God Abego. But if you watch the way Bournemouth plays, they are one of those teams that they are not afraid of any opponent. You know, but that's one thing. We'll get to Chelsea when we are analyzing Chelsea. But that's one thing I criticized Maraska when he played against Man City. He went and he sat back and was trying to defend instead of coming out to play against Man City. That's what Bournemouth do. Bournemouth don't sit back whether they are losing or not. They are coming out to play. So I think it's going to be a very, very tough match for Liverpool. But on the other hand, I was just checking the statistics and I understood that in the last 10 games against Liverpool, this Bournemouth has never won Liverpool. So when you look at it head to head, you can just say that it's a game that Liverpool should comfortably win. But you know, a friend of mine always said that you're as good as your last game. So you can look at them and you say that in the last 10 games, Liverpool has never lost to them, but every lose the stats in a day. So for me, it's going to be a very, very tough game for them. And if Liverpool is going to win that match, it is not going to be a kind of 3-0, 4-0 win. It's going to be a very narrow win, maybe a 1-0 win. And if there's going to be a dropping of points in that game, it will be a drop game. Because of the way Liverpool have played this season, you have to give it to them. Losing just one match this season, come on. They have not lost in the Champions League. So I give it to Liverpool. I still respect them, and I feel that since they are title top contenders, this is the kind of game that they should be winning.
So let's go to the next game that will be played within the weekend, which is going to be between Everton and Leicester City. These are two teams that are still struggling to maintain a spot in the Premier League. Everton have actually won 5 games, why Leicester City have won just 4 games, and Everton have 23 points, while Leicester, on the other hand, have 19 points. So, what do you think will come out of this game, seeing that these are 2 teams that want to maintain a spot to avoid going on relegation?
Okay, so I think Everton here is the top dog here. Let me use the word,
Yeah,
because since they got a new coach, they won their last 2 games. First against them, against Tottenham, and then the last one against Brighton. And then if you look at Leicester City on the other hand, even with their new coach Van Nistelrooy, I've not seen any improvement.
Yes.
Come on, it was Spurs last week.
We all know, but you know sports.
Yes,
one
They are not
one
consistent.
yes.
You know, so I see. I was not surprised. I wasn't surprised at that game because Spurs, they are the only team in
Spurs is Spurs.
You can easily tell you that in this game, just
Spurs can Spurs.
Yeah, thank you. Give it a goal festival for Spurs.
Yeah.
They will score, no doubt, but the chance of winning, especially when they are playing at away, it's always difficult. So I was not surprised. But looking at Everton here, they are actually, trying to pick up from their last game, the ball possessions, the tackles, and the attacks. There was improvement. It showed that yes, they have actually learned from their mistakes. So I think I will give it and this guy, what's his name? Ndiaye. He's actually informed now. Their striker, the guy is really informed. So I will even go for a goal from Ndiaye in this game against Leicester City. So for me, it's going to be a win. It's a straight win for Everton.
Okay, so let's see how that goes. So let's quickly look at the next game that will be played between Ipswich and Southampton. 2 bottom teams that will be beating each other.
Favorite Ipswich.
So Ipswich has been struggling. Same with Southampton that only have won. I mean, just 1 game.
Yeah, just 1 game against I think they won one of the big teams.
Yes.
I think that was Man City. No, not Man City. They won one of the big teams.
Yeah, one of the big teams. Big team, and that's the only team that they've defeated this season. So they'll be meeting with Ipswich. Your favorite team. Thank God I'm asking you.
Okay, they defeated Chelsea. And they defeated the Wolves as well.
That's Southampton.
Yeah,
Southampton.
no, Ipswich.
No, I'm talking about Southampton.
Okay,
Yes, Southampton.
Okay.
So
We are not that bad.
I have to go and take the record. It's important. The record is important. We defeated Chelsea.
So I know Ipswich.
And that match was a very interesting game.
Yes.
Very interesting game because nobody saw Chelsea.
Nobody saw that game. So that day, do you know what came to my mind? Oh, Blaze, your favorite team has defeated your club. So what do you have to say about this game, Blaze?
You just called it's just a bottom table clash.
Yeah.
So any of the team that is hungry enough to escape that relegation battle should win. But for me, when you watch the 2 teams, the team that can eventually go there and win is an Ipswich. Just like you pointed out, at least they've been able to win Chelsea, they've been able to win Wolves, and we have seen a wonderful performance from them against the Manchester United when they drew Manchester United. For when it comes to the 2 teams, I think Ipswich is the better team, and I think Ipswich is the team that can go there and win. Even though that when you look at the last few matches of Ipswich, you understand that they've not been really strong. I think Man City went there and battered them 6-0 or so, 5-0. So the 2 teams are just inconsistent teams. Even though for me, like I say always, Ipswich Town is one of my favorite bottom table teams. But forget the favorite or not, when you look at the 2 teams, I just think that it's the kind of game that Ipswich will want to use and at least clinch that 3 points. But at the end of the day, it's 2 mid club. So it's that kind of game that I think it might be a draw game at the end of the day.
Okay, quickly, let's look at the next game that will be played, which is between Newcastle and Fulham. So this is more like I think it's not going to be an easy game, seeing that Newcastle have 41 points currently and they're 5th, while Fulham have 33 points and they are 10th
on the table.
So what do you think out in this game?
I will go for a Newcastle win. Yes, even though it's not going to be an easy game because both teams are scoring inside.
Yes.
But one advantage Newcastle have in this game is that if they win this game on the table here, they're going to go up to 4th position, if not 3rd position. Okay, they're going to go up to 4th. yeah, they're going to go up to third position because Nottingham Forest, they were playing against a Brighton.
Yes.
That they might likely drop points.
Drop
exactly.
points.
Yeah.
So invariably, for the players, it's an advantage for them to get to that third position. That's number one. And then secondly, Newcastle have won 7 of their last 8 Premier League matches.
That's impressive.
Very impressive. I think last game, one of the commentators was saying this is unlike Premier League history, where a team will win up to 7 straight matches, just like that.
So the past season that does that.
Yeah, thank you. And then Liverpool actually win the same thing now. So I think that's a very good advantage for Newcastle. So I think if they should go with that mentality, I don't know if the coach is actually watching this, but I think for Newcastle, it's a very big advantage for them because if you win this game, you're going in third position, and once you go there, it's your opportunity for you to start fighting for the position. So I think I'll give it to Newcastle because they have the quality of players right now. Isak scores in almost every game since he came back from injury, as though the injury he went for just for him to go and cook himself. I'm telling you, if you look at the predictions so far in the betting sites, they will always tell you should play Isak to score. And out of 5 matches, he has delivered in 4 from the records I have here. So invariably, that guy is on fire. So I'm going to give it to a Newcastle win.
Okay, let's see how that play out. So let's look at the next game that will be played between Wolves and Aston Villa. Quickly, what's your take on this game?
Yeah, I think Aston Villa should win because Wolves have not. They've been terrible this season. Period to a season like this, if you look at Wolves, Aston Villa, you just see 2 mid-table teams. But at the moment, football changes.
Exactly.
Each season is a new stuff. Just like today, you can no longer just wake up and say Nottingham Forest will lose. It's something that you can just close your eyes and say last season. But this is a different ball game.
Exactly.
So this is for the 2 teams is a different ball game. Why Wolves have come down the pecking order? Aston Villa has gone up the pecking order. It's true that there are 8 on the table, but just like Emma was pointing out for Newcastle, they are 5th on the table now, with 41 points. Aston Villa, they are 8th on the table with 37 points. If you add 3 points to that 37 points, they are going to be the same point with Newcastle.
Exactly.
I get what I'm saying. So they're not a small team this season. So for me, it's going to be an easy win for Aston Villa.
So the next game that will be played in the weekend will be between Brentford and Spurs. So quickly, Emmanuel, what do you have to say about this game?
You should expect me to tell you the truth, and that's the truth I will tell you.
Okay.
Tottenham cannot do anything in that game. They can't. Because just before now, we're talking about Tottenham performance, their inconsistency, especially when they are playing at away. So I think in this game, for a Brentford actually went last game against Crystal Palace, and they came from, I think, a one goal down, and they came from behind, if I'm not mistaken, and they defeated Crystal Palace at home. So anybody who is actually following Tottenham's matches recently can actually tell you that Tottenham can only score goals, but they cannot guarantee you a win, especially in quotes, especially at away. So I don't think they can come and do a magic at Brentford. I don't think.
While I agree with you, but I want us to also be fair with Spurs, because I saw in news this evening. I was just stopping them there, and the coach was saying that he just have 8 players that are 18 years and above in his squad. So that kind of a squad is a dilapidated squad. So you will not. I know that Spurs can be Spurs, but you won't blame a team like that. They are really suffering. They have 2. Their starting goalkeeper is injured. The one that is supposed to replace him is injured. They had this January. They had to go and bring in a new goalkeeper. If you look at their back line, almost all the players they are injured. Almost all their senior players are injured, and they've been surviving and playing the youths. So you're not going to be too surprised why they are performing the way they are performing this season. No matter how Spurs has been bad throughout the previous season, you understand that at most they will be somewhere around that top 4. Or they will be maybe at worst top 6. Do you get that? But this season we are seeing them where we have never seen them, and you can just tell it's because of some of these challenges that this man is having. It's so unfortunate for them. But I totally agree that this Brentford match, with the way Brentford has performed recently, we even saw them what happened against Man City, where Man City also scored 2-0 first, and they came back to draw that match. I still think that this is a match that Brentford will eventually win. But it's a pity. I don't want to just say Spurs are just Spurs. Let's also look at the fact that they are having some of these setbacks. Exactly.
But the truth is that in football, you will not take because of emotions, or maybe you're having and then you will.
I get where you're coming from.
You say, sorry, we're not winning you. That's a very big blunder. In fact, that should be even your advantage for you to win that game and get your 3 points. So for me, I'm going to give it for a Brentford straight win.
Okay, so let's look at the next game that will be played between Manchester United and Crystal Palace. So, to you, please, do you think Manchester United is already finding their foot in the league? Because they've actually moved from 13
to 12. What an improvement! What an improvement!
They are tomorrow position.
They defeated your landlord. They defeated Fulham. So, what are your expectations?
Well, for me, even the coach himself has come out to say that they will really struggle this season. And if you follow what is happening at Manchester United, the coach even used his mouth to say in a press conference that the players are the worst players in the history of Man U. You can see, you can know how terrible the situation is in the club for a coach to come out and say that this is the worst crop of players in the history of Manchester United. So for me, they are going to be playing a Crystal Palace that, even though they are 13th, I feel that luck has not really been on the side of Crystal Palace this season. Look at they played beautiful football. And for me, when you compare the way Crystal Palace play and the way Manchester United play, I think Crystal Palace play a more beautiful kind of football than Manchester United. And when you look at the two clubs, the two of them are going aura for aura, because Manchester United, they are 12th on the league table. Crystal Palace, they are 13th on the league table. So for this season, they are mates. For this season. No, it's not. I'm not trying to pass for this season, they are going aura for aura. So for me, let the best team win. But I've not seen anything spectacular that Manchester United has done so far. We looked at them at the Europa League. I saw how it's true they won. That was Rangers. They later won against Rangers. 9 minutes. Where Bruno Fernandes scored that goal that came on top. That made them win 2-1. We saw them win against Fulham also. That's 2 winning on a row. But the 2 winning, there is win and there's win. So if you look at how they performed in those 2 winning, you're not confident that this team are. There's a way a team will win. You say, okay, these guys are yes. But that Fulham game, Fulham dominated that game.
Very well.
I watched the game. We are so lucky to actually very lucky win. It's true that when the game wanted to finish, Ahmad scored another goal that was later cancelled for offside. But I watched that game from beginning to the end. It was as if Fulham was Manchester City and Man U was an Ipswich Town. It was as if Amoga was playing a boy. So I watched that game and they really dominated that game. They were so lucky that it was even Martinez from the back that just said, let me shoot to Oba. I will know that Oba. You get? He just tried his luck and it entered. So I would be so surprised if they go and they win a Crystal Palace that I know that they have. I always say it. One of my major problems is that they have the worst forward line
currently
in the league. They have the worst. And when you compare Crystal Palace forward line, you see that there's a Mateta. Right? There's an Eberechi that is there that can cause any chaos and do something in that match. I don't know a player to bank on. If Ahmad does not do his once in 2 matches magic
Then
Then
what
it's
about
over for 4.
what about Onana, the basketball goalkeeper?
You can imagine
Okay.
that. So for
You
me,
should expect goals for me.
for
For me
me,
personally, I should go for goals.
goals,
in that game.
Yeah.
I won't say Man U will win that game. I won't say
I'm not confident that Man U will
Yeah.
win them. I'm not
So the
confident.
best is for
Okay.
you us just to go for goals. For those people that are actually watching that
Watch
want
it,
to,
yes, I want to
bet.
do it, yes.
Yeah, so I think you should just go for goals.
Goals,
in that game.
yes.
It's gonna be a both team to score game.
Okay, so viewers, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and also click on the notification button so you get notified whenever we post interesting content. Thank you. So let's look at the next game that will be played. This is the toughest, I think this should be the toughest game of the week, which is going to be between Arsenal, your club,
Yeah, very
and Man City. I know Blaze somehow will be happy because one of these two will be dropping points.
That's my happiness. I don't care who drops the point, but one of the two should drop points.
Exactly. So, Emmanuel, what do you think will play out?
What were you expecting me to say?
A man will always say it's
You
still
are
winning.
team. Your team will win.
See, in this game, I'm not speaking for the fact that I'm an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm speaking based on reality.
Okay.
If you look at the current form of the two teams,
Yeah.
you can agree with me that Man City is actually struggling. Sorry, they are actually trying to
They're
get
only
back.
getting their momentum.
Yeah, thank you because
They're getting it
because
already.
they've been able to, just like what you asked me in our last week's show, you talked about Pep Guardiola's divorce case, how it affected the match and all
Yeah.
that. We agree that yes, somehow it contributed to Man City's defeat. Just like what we said before the show started about squad depth and the rest of it. So let's just say those issues have been tackled now. Now they are trying to actually get back to themselves. Then you cannot talk about Arsenal, who has actually played, in their last 10 matches. I'm not mistaken. I don't think Arsenal has lost any game in the last 10 matches. Let me not even go far. Arsenal has not lost any game in the last 5 matches. We've had 2 draws and we've had 3 wins. So invariably, Arsenal is in form. And surprisingly, we don't have our best player currently, which is Saka. That's to tell you that even without Saka, Arsenal is doing well. I wish he will come back as soon as possible. But I think this game is going to be a revenge game for Arsenal because in the first leg against Man City, we all know that that red card that came against Arsenal was actually debated. Some persons were for the red card, while some were against the red card. They said it shouldn't have been a red card, while some said it should be a red card. But then I will fought that match and the extra time given in that game. The extra time was too much. That game would have actually ended for an Arsenal win. But obviously the Premier League will always have their way. They always want the bigger team, or let's say their favorite, to have their way. So the extra time in that game was actually uncalled for. That was why Man City actually got that draw. But I think in this game, Arsenal will be coming for a revenge. I'm going to go for an Arsenal win. Yes, there might be goals. Definitely, Man City will score. But believe you me, Arsenal will pull a shocker this weekend, and Arsenal will win that game. It's 2-1.
BUBE is Arsenal, so you allow me to.
You can banter.
I'm not trying to banter.
Fine.
I'm not trying to banter. I'm trying to talk
I'm here to
facts.
defend. Shoot
Okay.
yourself.
I'm here to talk facts.
Alright.
One thing with Emma is that Emma is always so passionate about this club
like me,
that he always sees the strength. He doesn't see the weaknesses. Because I feel that it's not an easy game to just sit down and just say that Arsenal will just win, because you feel that you have been informed your last 5 matches or so. But it's Man City you're playing, for Christ's sake. And it's not just about that, it's Man City. Man City says they lost to, that was Aston Villa, 21st December. They've not lost any Premier League game.
Exactly.
So they are back in form. So there's something I was saying when Man City was losing. I was saying something that if you're a team that can win Man City, you should better win them there. Now that once they pick up, they will continue to go. And we know Man City when it comes to January. This is the period that Man City always wins the league. Because once it's January till you see them till the end of the league, it's difficult for them to drop points. That's Man City for you. This is the Man City I watched against Chelsea. I know that Chelsea is Chelsea and Man City. When it comes to Chelsea, Man City always beats Chelsea. Do you get that? But I'm sure that there will be a dropping point for Arsenal this weekend. And it's not because I'm bantering. It's because when you're talking, let's talk about the forward line of Arsenal, right? Since Saka got injured, how has your goal been? How have you been performing when it comes to scoring goals?
We've been scoring goals in all our matches.
You've been scoring. How many goals have you been scoring?
Does it matter?
For me, I've been watching your matches as Emma.
Yeah.
I've been watching your matches. These guys are struggling to score. It's not banter. They're struggling to score. Go check your stats. Check your stats. You're struggling to score. Do you get that? In their last match against that was Wolves, they struggled to score. Forget the red card and all that. Forget the controversies that came with the match. They still struggled to score. Do you get that? And one of Arsenal's most creative players, Saka, is not playing this derby game because you can call this a derby game.
Yeah.
What's your best player, your best creative player also, Odegaard? He's not in form. I don't even know if he's going to be playing.
He'll be there. He played our last game.
He played your last
After
game.
he
He's not in form. When last did he give an assist?
Odegaard has been giving
When last
creative
now?
passes.
Let's be talking about the start.
He may not be
Which creative pass
He may
now?
not be, I've been giving the assist.
Let me
Guys,
just
but he has
Emma,
been giving his passes.
let me just
I'm gonna hold you by
I'll just
your
end here. I'll just end it here.
Please,
Arsenal will drop points.
I'll hold you by
I don't know.
your
I don't know
word.
whether they're going to draw or lose, but there must be a dropping point for
But not for
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
There must be a dropping point for
Fine.
Arsenal.
We'll see.
And
Moving forward.
That was not
See.
the point. Let's say it
We'll see.
You were Arsenal this guy, you know, and
We have been trying to hear this after this guy is not.
It's a challenge to me. Honestly speaking.
It's a challenge. It's a
You
challenge.
always
Will you
when it comes to Bube, you can tell that when
accept
it comes to Chelsea,
Blaze.
I look at my strength and I look at my weakness.
Blaze.
A man never looks at his weakness. You don't understand that. Will you understand that?
Will you accept
Who wants scored a goal? Who wants scored a goal?
Blaze. If Arsenal should lose this game,
Is it Havertz and your
Even
that will play the derby game against Man City? Please let's move forward.
It's
Let's
okay,
move
we'll see
forward.
how that will play out. So let's look at the next game that will be played, which is between Chelsea and West Ham.
Oh, is it
Please,
my turn?
your darling club. This is a derby game.
Yeah, it's a
So,
derby game.
what do you think will play out in this game? Seeing that Chelsea lost to Man City last weekend.
It's not just about our losing to Man City at the moment. In our last 7 games, Chelsea has not been Chelsea. I think we just won that one that we won against Wolves. We have seen ourselves lose to a club like Ipswich Town.
Yeah.
We have seen ourselves dropping unnecessary points here and there. So, and this is a West Ham that I think they changed their coach and they brought in a new coach.
Yeah.
And since the guy came in, it's as if that they have gotten this kind of structure and momentum. And you know one thing about new manager bounce, and especially when some of these teams you see as small teams, whenever they see Chelsea and they become, it's as if that they have seen a prey they can prey on. But I think if Maresca should just pick the right players and do some of the right things, the basic things in that match, then we can have a chance to win that match. It's West Ham that assisting on the table.
Yeah.
We assist and we are struggling for the top 4. If we keep losing to teams like this, that means we are not going to make this top 4. Even though Maresca himself has come out to say a lot of, for me, I will call it rubbish in quotes, please pardon me, but he has said a lot of rubbish that I think he should not be saying in his press conference. He started by saying that we are not title contenders, even though we just saw it as cruise. But recently he said something and he was saying that the owners did not tell him to finish top 4. Okay, because the owners not telling him to finish top 4 and you're seeing top 4. You should not now, you don't know you're supposed to maintain that spot. So for me, it's a West Ham. They've been neither here or there this season. It's true they have changed a new coach. I think that Maresca should go and give his best and win that match.
Do you think there's any exceptional thing Maresca should do?
Yes, he should drop Sanchez. Drop him. Drop him. We cannot keep suffering for something that. Drop him. He's West Ham. Gamble it. Drop him. Let's try this other guy.
Yeah.
Let's try him. I've watched this guy in the European Conference. At least he has this confidence. At least he came from the Spanish league and they play with their leg. The goalkeepers play with their leg. He can play with his leg. Let's try this guy. You are giving Sanchez the chance that you say you will give him, and it's not working. That's the only thing. For me, you can still play your Jackson because I don't see Nkunku as a solid replacement for Jackson when it comes to that number 9. But there are things I think that Pochettino tried last season that when it comes to that tactical side that Maresca can try, because there are lots of creative players that he has not been putting into the squad. So because of the kind of midfield we have now, I feel that he can drop Madueke in the wings, then push Palmer to that wing, then play maybe, what's his name, either Nguko or Joao Felix in that midfield position, still trying to play Caicedo and Enzo, right, in the middle, but play what's his name, Nguko as that number 10 or Joao Felix to give another creative aspect to the game. Then you can still play Palmer. I know Maresca on his own likes Palmer on the free roll, but Palmer can also play for the win. Just try it for the moment. Let's see how it goes. Let it be that it do not work. We must not be doing one thing all the time. We can just, it's not working, right? We can just tweak the whole thing. Try and bring another creative aspect of the game. And I feel that it worked for Pochettino. At the point, Pochettino was playing Palmer from the wing, right? And it worked for him. So I feel that it's something that Maresca can look at, even though he has never tried it this season. Because he feels that he has the wingers, he feels that he has Madueke and Neto that he wants to explore the wing. But when these wingers are not giving you what you want, you can drop them and try Palmer at that wings and in that wings position, then bring in another creative 10 and let's see if anything can happen. Okay. But there's a reason why he's the coach and I'm here talking sports.
Okay, we'll see how that will play out. Okay, this is where we're coming to the end of the show. But before we go, we want to give a very big shout out to my analysts that always make our time to be here in the studio to discuss football with us. Blaze and EMMANUEL, thank you for always being here.
It's beautiful to be here. Let Arsenal just drop point this weekend.
The prayer cannot be answered. We have God on our side.
So viewers, another shout out is going to you out there that stayed to the end of the show. And don't forget to click on the subscribe button if you've not done that. And also click on the notification button so you get notified for more interesting episodes that will be coming through this channel. Thank you and see you in our next episode.